Hello and welcome to Some Dude Shed. We're going to be playing our game of True or False. Each of us has a story to tell from the depths of history, and we're going to work out whether it's true or not. So let's get started. Mr. Black, take us away.
Mine's not that deep in history. It's only happened a few years ago.
All right, okay.
So, it's a Scottish man builds his own home with noodles.
I assume this was in Scotland.
Yes. So
okay, there's an awful lot to figure out here.
Well,
So
What type of noodle was he using? Was it pot noodle, ramen noodle?
ramen.
Ramen. Nice big thick noodle.
They were the cheapest. So Keith Fleming, he's 22 and he's from Perth in Scotland, not the Australian one. Anyway, he works as a call center employee for an insurance firm. Given he does not earn a lucrative wage, he is struggling to get a mortgage, as many young people are today. He explains, even though my finances are sound and I'm able to get approved for a mortgage, I am constantly being bought out by cash buyers, which leaves me little to no chance of securing a deal when I find a home that I actually like. His endeavour began in 2017 when he posted on social media that he was sick of the lack of support for first-time buyers from the government. So he joked that he may as well build his own house, but it would have to be out of noodles, as it was the only economical solution available to him when it came to building materials. So you might have actually seen the viral videos of you ever seen like a guy repair a sink with noodles? You ever seen
Yes.
that? There's like a craze sort of started going around of there's like a broken sink, but this guy sort of perfectly replenishes it with noodles and some other materials.
So there is a little bit of possibility that noodles could hold a bit of structure then.
Yeah, and I saw a guy sort of fill a wall in with noodles and plaster over it. But anyway, Keith decided to take it to the next level. He was going to build his own house out of noodles in his father's back garden. My dad had many questions and suggested I should go and boil my head. At first I was joking, but once we both saw the response on social media, we thought it would be hilarious to at least have a bash at it. He contacted his nearest wholesaler for vast quantities of ramen noodles. To save costs, he also contacted supermarkets to allow him to take out-of-date noodles out of their hands, because he wasn't going to eat them.
So where was he going to build this?
His dad's back garden.
Right, okay.
Right.
So how did he do it? Did he make noodle bricks, or did he just sort of pour them all in and hope to make a wall in one go?
Or did he get a wooden structure and then just built up a not ramen brick wall just by placing the little bricks on top of each other?
I don't know the full, it wasn't strictly just noodles. So he was able to secure a grand total of 5,000 bricks of ramen noodles. In the meantime, he prepared his construction materials, which included a mix of various tools, plaster, and some timber. So he mixed and matched. He also assembled a large cooking pot outside of the house, which he planned to fill with warm water from his father's house, but maintained temperature by burning a fire pit underneath the pot. He kept his followers updated over the months and finally completed his construction in the summer of 2018. He said, "I wish it was a bit bigger, but that's the housing market for you." He has since moved into his real home, and the noodle house still stands today in his father's garden.
Okay, well...
He updated his followers, so he's on Instagram or something.
I'm assuming it's Instagram. I don't actually have Instagram.
So he did this to get noticed and make money off it, I'm assuming?
Well, he started with a post and basically made a joke out of it. But then he was like, "Well, you know what? Then nothing better to do. I'll just make it out of noodles." And
because if you're being genuine that you wanted to just build a place to live in your dad's backyard, you could just go get a well-insulated shed, and it would probably be expensive as 5,000 bags of noodles.
Well, to be fair, we are.
But then I don't think he had any intention of actually living in it. I think he just wanted to see if he could just do it just for a laugh.
Right.
Just to say, give a little warning here. We are a little biased. We are quite fond of sheds.
Yeah. Well, say I've seen shed. I've sent them to you before.
Yeah.
Just Mr. Red, sheds going, well, if you're struggling to buy a house, just buy this shed and insulate it, put nice carpet in it. You know what I mean? Put some electric in it, some Wi-Fi, and you're sorted. You know what I mean? Just a wee small little, all you need is a little patch of land.
Yeah.
Some plumbing.
Yeah, a little bit of plumbing and a little bit of electricity and you're fine.
Yeah. If you have no aspirations in life, it would be perfect.
You have the aspiration of a really nice shed.
Exactly. You'd be like, come see my shed.
Bring the girls around to the shed.
If you're doing that though, you might as well just do it with a shipping container if you've got ground.
Yeah.
Shipping containers are expensive. You need a new one to make a house out of it. You can't have one that's holey and leaky and rusty. You gotta have a new one.
Yeah, but you can, in the before time, you could have got a 40-foot high cubic shipping container for about 1,500.
It's a lot cheaper than a house. Give you that.
It is, but you would just need to like insulate it and wire it and make it livable.
In fact, if you Google like container, shipping container house or something to Google images, you'll see lots of really cool.
The most expensive part of this entire scenario is the bit of land you would need in the first place. That's quite expensive.
The land is super expensive. Even just building a normal house, the land is crazy. It's like half the price of the house.
Yeah, more or less.
It is a lot.
So basically, some guy built a noodle house for followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
True or false?
Yeah. But it was big. Like, it was a big house, but again, he wasn't going to live in it because there was no insulation, no plumbing. Like, you know, it was.
Well, it seems he was able to afford a rail house after that. It seems. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
I don't know. I think maybe just.
Do you think he got endorsed by ramen after that?
I don't know, because a lot of the stuff he got was out of date as well. Like, I think that's how he was able to save money. You know, because if he just went out and just bought the ramen bricks, like, it just would have been a waste of money.
You only needed them to stick together.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear about all like just the strange things on social media, somebody doing that wouldn't surprise me at all.
It does sound it actually sounds kind of believable.
It's like, remember we covered the woman who made 12 trades and got her own house in Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen like a house, not like a gingerbread house, was actually made from gingerbread. But I saw that years ago.
I remember James May made a house out of Lego.
A real one?
Yeah. It's on Amazon at the minute. Well, it was on Amazon. It's 2 episodes where it was just literal Lego bricks and he made a house out of it.
Well, to be fair, that is a construction material, even though it is a toy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like a strong wind, that would be it. Or an
Yeah.
angry child.
I'm gonna say true on this. I think it is possible that one could build a house out of noodles.
He also made furniture out. Well, he didn't do it personally. He had like a whole team of people. But they made furniture out of the Lego bricks. As you can tell, it wasn't very comfortable.
I can't imagine.
It just reminds me of, like, you ever see those clips on YouTube? Like this guy who makes this amazing nice sculpture, or like this guy who makes this like Leaning Tower of Pisa, like out of lollipop sticks or something.
Yeah.
And there's always like a news reporter, just knocks the whole thing over.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, even if you watch like the, you've ever seen the Primitive?
No.
Primitive people, is it called? They literally make like houses out of. They just dig a hole in the ground and make like clay out of the mud.
I might have seen that.
And then they literally make like a little underground house and has its own pool and everything.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't, like, it's literally just 2 guys out in the middle of nowhere doing that.
2 guys with spades.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's a project.
You wouldn't see it in Grand Designs, though, would you?
No. Well, see some of the shit that's on Grand Designs.
Someone's like, why? It's an eyesore.
I'm gonna go with true. Sounds like it could be plausible.
I'm saying true as well.
Both true.
Yeah.
It's false.
Oh, you made it up?
Yeah.
Oh, terrific.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
He wrote it like a bloody news article.
I'm learning. I'm improving.
Certainly
My
I'm
powers are
right.
growing.
Right. That's what you got to do, right? You got to write your false stories really well, and you got to write your true stories really badly.
Right, moving on. You know the way Russia's really big?
It's kind of large, yeah.
Yes. And 50% of its border is, how would you say, facing the Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's very remote areas.
Cold, yeah.
Yes. And there's only about 6 months out of the year you can actually sail around up there. And it's really hard to actually buy land to get anywhere.
Well, the good news is, with global warming on its way, we'll be able to sail around the top of Russia a lot more often.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway.
I feel like you're sort of putting these forward to be like, well, see, this is why this is true. Like, this is why.
So, you know the way, boats need lighthouses so they don't crash into things?
Yeah.
Well, you need lighthouses on your shore. And it's kind of hard to constantly change out the people who need to go to and from those, the lighthouse keepers to and from the lighthouses. Whenever it's probably about 1,000 miles to anywhere that has a population. So logistically, it doesn't really work. So if you could automate your lighthouses, that'd be pretty great, wouldn't it?
That'd be pretty handy.
Are most of them automated now? At least in the
They're
West?
most of them automated now. Sorry, I have to actually mention, this is going to be in the Soviet area during the 70s.
Right, okay.
So basically, they had problem getting power to the lighthouses, and they had problem getting people to the lighthouses. So they came up with a solution to have a nuclear battery power the lighthouses
All right.
for a very long period of time, without
Right.
having to change
That doesn't sound like a stupid idea.
No. So, basically, did the Soviets come up with nuclear-powered batteries to power their lighthouses?
Did they come up with them?
Yes.
So was this
As
one?
in invent them? Like,
Yes.
Did they use them?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Oh, right. Oh, you're asking us if they used
no,
them.
so it wasn't a true or false, did they invent them? It's true or false, did they use them?
It's true or false, did they use nuclear batteries to
Right.
power their lighthouses?
Okay, so how many of them were there? Because the northern coast of Russia is gigantic. So,
I'm going to say there was many dozens.
Yeah. And I'm guessing these were all stay away lighthouses, not here's the port lighthouses.
Yes, don't come near these rocks lighthouses.
Yeah.
See, it's not that crazy given the fact that, I mean, was it, I think the last load of rovers that have been on Mars or have many nuclear reactors on them?
This is back in the 70s, though.
Yeah, but still, it's not super new
They had
technology. Like.
nuclear power back then, didn't they?
Yeah.
In the form of a battery.
And the Soviets were very fond of their nuclear power.
Yes, they were.
It's not so much a battery, though. It's more like a chamber with nuclear material in it. Know what I mean? It's a battery in a sense, in that the material is stored energy, like radioactive energy, but it's like
Mini power plant.
it's not like a
Well, yes. it is.
chemical battery, like a
I may be describing it as a battery, but yes, it is a generator.
yeah.
The only problem with that is that these lighthouses would operate in very cold conditions.
Yes.
So whenever the winter came around and things all froze up and water turned to ice and then ice turned to water again, stuff's going to break. You know, all those bulbs and all those lights in the lighthouse, they're going to break. So you still need somebody there to look after the workings of it.
I think you would still need to just
Still need
typically
regular maintenance.
you would have lighthouse keepers that would stay out with the lighthouse for like months at a time. But I think in this case, rather than just being out there for months at a time, wasting supplies and being isolated and going mental.
Well, it's getting fuel to and from the lighthouses. You need fuel to keep the power on.
That's true.
But I think it's more like you just need to send a guy every 6 months to make sure it's all fine, or every few months, rather than keep a guy up there and keep him fed. And
Well, here's a question: how busy is the shipping up there?
Well, I'm going to say 6 months out of the year. It's probably going to be pretty busy.
You think so? Because they're just delivering from.
Well, it's either you can sail from one side of Russia to the other by just going over the top of the country, or you can sail the whole way around the world. So it's kind of up to you.
No, there is that, but you're still only really delivering to Russia. I suppose if you're delivering from, say, Moscow, and you want to deliver something to Japan, you have to. Yeah, you go all the way. Yeah, it would be a lot quicker around the top. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, well, stuff gets delivered from Scotland to the bottom of England. Like, what's your point?
Well, no, I'm just trying to think. Well, when would that shipping lane be used? Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Sure, I think it's possible.
And don't forget, it's also not for putting out items; it's also for imports as well.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, sure. I'd also like to make a comment that
And then also they need to move their naval fleet as well.
Yes, of course, very important.
yeah, it's just more for their own protection, like so they don't crash into themselves.
Yeah. I
But
just want to say, being a sailor up in the Arctic must be really unpleasant.
Oh yes. If there's photos of Royal Navy in the North Cape, and the water icing over on the side of the ship, and they have to actually go out in this and knock the ice off because it puts a load of weight on the ship.
Goodness me.
You should see some of the photos. It's ridiculous.
Doesn't sound like a fun time.
So you have to go out on like just basically a giant ice covered ship and just knock clumps of the
Break
ice off.
the ice off
Yeah.
the ship.
What do you do for heat in this scenario? Like, is
Stay
it,
inside. Huddle
But-
up together, have a big cuddle.
how do you heat up inside though? Like, I mean, I know modern day obviously it'd be easy enough, but like back then, I mean,
Well, back then,
They open the vents in the engine.
it was probably breathe it in, boys.
steam engine, just everyone huddles around the steam boiler.
Sauna.
Well, I'm gonna say true. It sounds believable.
Okay.
But even if it was quiet, that'd be justifiable enough to have like nuclear batteries on lighthouses, because like if the attitude party would have been like, well, there's no point having a guy out here. There's hardly anybody sailing past here. Let's just put.
Then again, now I'm thinking about it. This is the Soviet Union. We look at their technology and how practical it might be. Yes, but do they really care enough about their people to give them relief and put the nuclear power in the lighthouse?
It's more the navy and stuff. Like make sure they don't crash in. Like it's just to protect, literally just to protect themselves, not so much the civilian ships and stuff. Just their own navy vessels crashing.
So what do you think?
I don't know. It makes sense because, I mean, have you seen the film The Lighthouse? Being a lighthouse keeper sucks. I'd be like, yeah, put some batteries in there.
Tends to end up in a big murder.
So you're saying true then?
Fuck it, yeah, it's Russia. They'll do, fuck it, this is Russia. We'll do what we want.
I've changed my mind. It's false. They don't care about their lighthouse keepers. They'll lock them up there for years. Pretty much.
These are the people who had chains of gulags. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, you'd be like some subordinate, like, Navy officer or something, right? You're manning a lighthouse for 6 months.
Yeah.
Way you go. Fuck it, true.
You're going true.
Because it sounds cool.
You're going true.
Yeah.
And you're going false.
I'm
True.
going false.
It's true.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Because Russia, like, health and safety wasn't a thing back then. They didn't give a shit. Plus, like, they did end up in rovers.
The
technical
name for the battery was the radioscopic thermic generator, or RTG, and it was powered by Strodium 90.
Never heard of it.
Nearby.
Sounds nasty.
It might be. All right, well, moving on, I think.
And they're still about today.
Well, there you go.
Alrighty then. Well,
Sorry, you'll also be happy to know there's been, well, you'll not be happy to know, you'll be shocked to find out that there's been some safety incidents with the batteries.
safety incidents.
Yes.
Oh.
Did somebody lick the battery?
In December 2001, a radiological accident occurred when 3 residents of Leah, Georgia, found parts of an abandoned Beta M in the forest while collecting firewood. The 3 suffering from burns and symptoms of acute radiation syndrome as a result of the exposure to strontium-90 contained in the Beta M. The disposal team that removed the radiation sources consisted of 25 men who were restricted to 40 seconds worth of exposure while transferring the canisters to lead-lined drums.
That's amazing. The Soviets don't have a very good track record with radiations, do they?
No, they don't.
Your man Elon Musk said recently that radiation's not that bad. Like, radiation's not that dangerous. Like, what?
Well, compared
All
to
I have
some
to say
things,
about Elon Musk is he's a very good businessman.
I'll probably be trying to sell something radioactive if he said something like that.
Right, moving on.
Moving on, yes. So my story takes place over a very long period of time, all the way back. Well, actually, I'll start at the end of the story because it kind of makes a bit more sense. So in the year 94 BC, in Egypt, the ruler was Ptolemy X. And when he was exploring tombs one day, you know, because that's what you do when you're royal and you got a bit free time in Egypt. You go and have a look at the history. So he was looking at the tombs and he came across a tomb of Pharaoh Neferkara. This is from way back in 2700 BC. So this is an ancient pharaoh to Ptolemy.
Pharaoh who?
Neferkara.
How's it spelled?
Neferkara.
True.
So that's how they spelt it in ancient Egypt anyway.
This better not be one of these things you've read off some other fictionalized source and you're using it now. It's just a dick move when you do that, to be totally honest.
So what Ptolemy found in Neferkara's tomb was an inscription, or not an inscription, a painting of Neferkara leading his army. As the ancient Egyptians do, when the commander looks all big and pointing. But at the front of the battle line, there was a hippopotamus.
Right.
So it basically looked like Neferkara was commanding a hippopotamus to charge the enemy.
Okay.
So Ptolemy, forward-thinking sort of person, thought it was a great idea. So he had a tame-ish one. All kind of trained up. Nobody knew what they were doing though, so I say trained up. And during a rebellion in Thebes, which is in southern Egypt.
I thought it was on Naboo, the city of thieves.
Thebes. So in Thebes.
Is this bullshit? This is made up then?
No,
Thebes is a real place. Goodness.
And then Thebes on Naboo in Star Wars.
Oh.
Goodness. So in the rebellion in Thebes, Ptolemy's army goaded the domesticated hippo into battle, and the hippo charged down the street and basically knocked over a load of resistance fighters. And this was part of. Well, he won the battle in the end. Whether the hippo was decisive or not, we're not sure. But the record just says that the hippo broke a phalanx is what the record says.
Okay, so the true or false is, was a hippo used in a battle?
Yes. Was the hippo used in a battle?
Okay,
by Ptolemy X?
Ptolemy X. Okay, what year was this?
It was 94 BC. Was the Rebellion of Thebes.
It's not the weirdest animal used in a battle, really.
Well, no, I mean, they're big, they're angry, they're really tough.
They've used elephants.
Yeah.
Pigeons,
Yeah.
rats.
Though, a hippopotamus, is it not quite hard? It would be quite hard to control, would it not, compared to...
I think from birth, if you had it literally from birth and it was around humans 24/7.
Yeah, you got to raise it as a pet from the start.
Because they're very vicious animals.
Because
They're bastards.
they are very, very dangerous animals. I remember a safari guy said to me that that if you see a lion in the bush, there's a 50% chance it'll charge. If you see a rhino and you make a lot of noise, there's like a 70% chance it'll charge. If you see a hippo a long way away, there's a 100% chance it will charge and try to kill you. They are very dangerous animals.
So what you're saying is we need to rid the forest of the hippo.
But saying that though, if you stand your ground against a rhino, it actually shits itself. It's like, oh.
Yeah, a hippo doesn't, it just eats you.
No, a hippo, don't do it with a hippo.
But there is I remember seeing in a program called An Idiot Abroad, which is a great show with a guy called Carl Pilkington. He visits these people in South Africa who have a hippo for a pet, and the hippo just lives in the living room.
Right.
Makes a terrible smell, but apparently it's just domesticated pet. It's like a cat, but a million times heavier.
If it shits in a house, it's game over.
Yeah.
You ever seen how hippos shit? You ever seen it?
No, I can't say I have.
Yeah, they kind of wag their tails and it goes everywhere.
So just diarrhea is everywhere, and his tail's like and just flings the shit everywhere.
So
yeah, if that happens in the house, that's a disaster.
If it starts doing it in the zoo and you're like near it in the zoo, run away. Run away.
It's a strong believer in sharing is caring.
I guess in a battle situation, that would be a good way to scare the enemy. It's
yeah.
You any questions about it?
True, because it was so long ago.
Well, 94 BC isn't that. There's plenty of records from around that time. This is a good 200 years after Alexander, and he's quite kind of well documented. This is a little one generation before Julius Caesar, and he's very well documented.
Well, we all know they've done elephants. Could they do hippos? I don't know.
Fuck it. Aye.
What was the pharaoh's name again?
Ptolemy X.
Because the thing is, wild elephants don't mess around either, but they've rode elephants in the
tame
battle.
Elephant. We all know that elephants can be domesticated quite nicely. Fun thing about Ptolemy is he was related to his entire family. He was
Shit.
Well, yeah, me too. I'm related to my family. Holy fuck.
But no, he was more related to his family than most people are. Because the Ptolemies and Cleopatras
Was his own cousin?
were all pretty much. They if you look up Cleopatra was the last. I say Egyptian in quotes because she was kind of descended from Greeks. But if you look up Cleopatra's family tree, Ptolemy X is on it.
It's a circle.
It's pretty much just one long line. They kept it in the family an awful lot.
Was Cleopatra fit, or was she just a her?
Apparently, she was all right looking. That was the
All right looking.
Yeah, the story is she was all right looking, but she was absolutely nuts.
For all that inbreeding, that's quite an accomplishment.
Well, like I said, she was absolutely nuts.
Was she nuts because she was inbred?
The looks were okay, but the head was not.
Was she nuts though because she was inbred?
She was nuts and she was inbred. Whether those two are related, I'm not entirely sure.
Peanut. I want
She
peanut.
managed to simp one of the leaders of Rome.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! What were we talking about? Oh yeah,
Back to the
hippo.
hippo.
True.
I'm gonna say if we turn around and say, "Oh, this is from the legend of la la la," and some crap that I didn't bother making up myself and just read it here, I'm gonna be so angry.
The Tao of the Hippo War.
Gonna be so annoyed. Yeah, true.
Well, guys, I can tell you that no, a hippo has never been used in battle. It's ridiculous. I made up the whole thing. The people are real. Neferkara and Ptolemy X were both pharaohs of Egypt, but that's it.
Sad attempt. Very well done, Mr. Gray. Very well done.
I'm proud of myself now.
Sorry, was it true or false?
It was, it was false.
Oh fuck! Damn it!
If you had picked a rhino, I actually probably would have just believed it. It's the hippo, like the nature of the hippo. I was kind of like, not too sure about this.
Really? Well, the geography was a bit of a problem because rhinos more south, aren't they? They're kind of southern Africa.
I have no idea.
hippos live in the Nile, which is basically all Egypt was.
Yeah.
So,
So
the Russians had a bear.
yeah.
World War Two.
But
Yeah.
bears can be tamed, can't they? Because if you have a tame bear, you can cuddle it and stuff.
Mm.
and they haven't achieved that with hippos yet. So
No. Well, one has. One that was on TV.
right.
On that note.
On that note,
A little appeal to comments. If you who have been listening have been affected by a hippo attack, please let us know. We'll be sure to read your comment.
until next time.
Until next time.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.